In 1861, General James Lane led his Jayhawkers out of Kansas into the future Grandview and took over the farm of Solomon Young, Harry Truman's grandfather and ardent Unionist. They slaughtered 400 hogs and forced his grandmother to bake biscuits for them, while they shot her chickens. 35 years later, the United States government repaid Mr. Young for some of his losses. Harry Truman grew up on his grandfather's farm, and was there when Grandview became a city in 1912. In 1917 he left to fight in World War I. When he came back after the armistice he started on the path to the White House. But he always recalled the pleasant times he had in Grandview. Our community grew during the mid-20th century. Many African Americans came from east of Troost in Kansas City. They were seeking a better quality of life away from the segregated housing patterns that limited them. Then, during World War II, nearby Richards Gabor Air Base fueled growth as many of its personnel lived here. By the late 70s, Grandview's population was nearly 25,000. But then, as they had 100 years earlier, outside forces rode into Grandview and dealt it a triple blow. The federal government shut the Air Force Base down and its staff and their families left. With fewer customers, many businesses and services also left town, looking for new customers. Then Kansas City developers built a mall in nearby South Kansas City. It devastated our major shopping center, Truman's Corners. Shoppers left our businesses to wither on the vine, and new businesses were reluctant to come to a community that seemed old, outmoded, and shrinking. But the catastrophe that sealed our community's fate for the next 35 years was when the State Highway Department changed the 71 highway frontage roads from two-way to one-way operation. Because the state spent the money needed to finish the change in Grandview, in other parts of the state, shoppers and residents in our town could not circulate around and across the highway. Grandview was cut in two. Our businesses were cut off from our residents, and our neighborhoods isolated from one another. The state had built another truce. Again, as in the Civil War, outside influences banged on Grandview's front door and left after taking wealth and opportunity from our residents. For 30 years, our population and businesses stagnated. Our quiet, diverse, blue-collar, working community was left to pull itself out of a situation it did not have a say in creating. Finally, in one more attempt to kick Grandview while it was down, in 2008, Forbes magazine labeled Grandview one of the 10 fastest dying cities in the United States. Forbes saw Grandview as a member of a select group, one of 10, out of 36,000 municipal governments in the United States, or maybe not. Forbes never told us what their intent was. Did they want us to put up a city closed sign, or simply throw in the hat and leave? We decided to do neither. Unfortunately for Forbes, their analysis ignored our diverse population that takes pride in the community where President Harry Truman grew up. So, rather than dying, our city is blossoming into a vibrant, growing, 21st century community. More importantly, we have done this without mortgaging our future. More amazingly, we did it by pulling ourselves up during the Great Recession. Now we are recognized as a sustainable, walkable community for all ages, with a diverse, blue-collar population that has used its own resources to develop both physical and social infrastructure, including an arts council and a Main Street organization, upon which the city can grow in the future. We are recognized as a place in the Kansas City community. Now we want to be the greatest place. We have used Main Street as a catalyst for transformation. Improving Main Street led to redevelopment of two of our nearly abandoned 1950s-style shopping centers. Altogether, improvements have totaled over $60 million of public and private investment in Grandview since the start of the Great Recession. So much for closing up town. Now, we are ready for the future, and see significant and unique development opportunities in that future. This all started with our Main Street. Now we want to ensure that our Main Street continues to grow and prosper, not only because of what it has done and meant to our revitalization, but because Main Street reflects our heritage and our community fabric. Main Street is the place where Harry Truman learned to be a leader, and where our kids today can also learn to be leaders. And we feel the arts are the key to making our kids the best leaders in the future. We believe that with the physical and social infrastructure we have built, the arts now have a place to be, and from Main Street help us reweave the fabric of our community and repair the damage and separation brought on us 35 years ago. To make us the place not only locally, but across the state and region. Starting with Main Street, we have made a strong case that Forbes magazine was not only wrong, but the life or death of a community has more to do with the will of its people than spreadsheets. Now we would like the arts to help our families, businesses, and entrepreneurs make Main Street even more vibrant and successful by generating ideas and emotions that support our community's transformation. We want to have the arts motivate our community and be the center of our place. Now Grandview needs to take another big step, and that is to rebuild itself as a community and to make itself a new and greater place, a place with not only much history, but a chance to be a truly 21st century place.